Yo, what's up? My name's Osagi.
And my name is Chris.
And this is Prophetic Foolishness. Man, we back.
We back at it.
It's your boys.
It's your boy.
Young Osagi.
And me.
You know what I'm saying? Out here living it. Yeah. Out here, you know what we doing? Out here getting mines.
I'm out here getting mines. We out here brand coming soon.
Man,
yeah.
To all y'all out there, continue to get mines.
Yeah.
For not get yours, get mines.
Get your,
get mines from your point of view. Come on. Continuously.
You got to be out here. We out here.
We are, bro. Yeah. I mean, we still doing this thing, dog. It's always a pleasure when I get to. It's funny, man. The reason we even started this was like me and Chris would have these conversations already. We're like,
yeah.
We should just create this content.
Let's get this content. Let's record it.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, it's good to.
It's crazy. Somebody told me, I think it was last night. He said, "Man, y'all should save these recordings 3 years down the road, re-listen to them, and see how your thoughts or perspectives have shifted or changed."
Bro, I hope they would, man.
I hope so too.
I would hope.
That's a sign of growth.
That is good, man.
Yeah.
Like, you will change, you will grow.
I'm sure the stuff I was saying 3 years ago, my goodness. It could be totally different.
Bro, it'd be funny. It's funny that you said that. I remember, like, going back home, from like college or something like that, when homies be like, "Oh man, dog, you changed." I would hope so.
Yeah,
like,
what you mean?
I'm living a different life. I'm taking care of myself now.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot.
I've been exposed. I'm seeing different things.
Exactly. I have left my hometown.
I left my hometown.
Of course, I would hope that I've changed. Yes, I have changed.
Yeah, I've gained knowledge.
Exactly, bro.
I've gained experiences.
So yeah, bro, that's really good. Honestly, that's a really cool thing. If we keep this, we should keep this thing going. We will keep this thing going. And looking back and be like, man, how do I change in perspectives? And I see that. We already see that now. Like, you probably think of things you thought.
I've changed thoughts and perspectives since last week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just different, hearing from different people, understanding different points of views.
Yeah.
Being like, wow, I never thought of that.
Read different things on Twitter. It's like, man, I never thought of that.
Hey, just like, it's funny you say that. I remember, when Kawhi Leonard, like, his laugh came out, and then people just thought it was so funny.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
And now I'm like, bro, this is why we don't get interviews from Kawhi Leonard.
That's exactly why.
Because when he decided to open up, we roasted him. And so I'm like, now, I was on the side of, like,
my gosh,
pointing out like, ha, Kawhi Leonard. And now I'm like, man, y'all leave Kawhi alone.
Leave Kawhi. Let him be.
Leave Kawhi alone, man. Stop with this laugh. Stop asking him questions.
Play basketball and have braids from 2002.
Bro, hey, the cornrows, we gotta let those go, y'all. Like, and not to hurt nobody's feelings, unless we gotta to the brothers out there.
To the brothers.
Look, this ain't a 2003 R&B video, okay?
Yep.
You're not in B2K. Let the braids go, okay? Let the braids go. I got this icebox where my heart is. Bro, you remember B2K? It's like bum bum bum. You can show me. Okay, yeah. I'm not with the braids. Not to hurt nobody's feelings. But, dog, let's get into what we're talking about today, man.
What are we talking about? Give it to us.
Man, this is a topic that I personally wanted to talk about and really just challenge the norm on this, bro.
Yeah. Let's see where let's see where it goes.
Bro.
I think this topic today will be prophetic.
Yes.
It'll be a little foolish.
Yeah.
And then all the foolishness will go away, and then it'll get serious, but then it'll end lighthearted.
Yeah. That's what we should do. That's what we should do.
I think
that's good.
Yeah.
And also, I want to preface, you guys don't have to necessarily agree with me. I just want you to hear a different perspective.
Yeah.
And if you do agree with me, cool. If you don't, cool. If you at least just understand the perspective where I'm coming from, cool. That's the whole point of where we're coming from.
Yeah.
So, we'll jump in, man.
We'll jump in.
So this week, man, one thing I want to talk about is male babysitters.
Male babysitters.
And
the funny thing, even with that, let's just start there. The fact that we have to denote what gender the babysitter is shows that it's not the norm. Because normally, when you hear babysitter, you don't picture a man.
Not at all. You think a woman.
You think woman.
Or sometimes a girl.
Yeah, I mean, like a teenager.
That's
trying to make some pocket change,
dog. And
Let me.
I'm gonna start from my personal experience.
Okay.
This is my frustration. Okay, in high school,
yes,
I needed some bread in my pocket.
Oh yeah,
and so, I had to go work at the YMCA making a minimal $8 an hour, and I'm grinding for this $8 an hour. You know, we gotta stand. I'm at the front desk.
$8 an hour. That's a lot of money, though. I remember my first job. I was $7.25.
Not the lifestyle I was trying to live. Not the lifestyle I was trying to live. So I said to say, but all my female friends, was like out here babysitting. And they would just have to sit on the couch, get paid a lot of money.
Because the kids already be asleep.
Because the kids be asleep. Yeah. And they get to eat the food. And, bro, they're making double.
Oh, my, 16 an hour?
Bro. Yeah. Doing little to nothing.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, bro, I'm trying to, and this is the thing I know. I'm great with kids, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm great with kids.
I seen you with the kids.
You know what I'm saying?
Uncle Osagi.
Kids love Osagi. Let's just go ahead and say it. They love me, okay? They love me. I mean, only unless they're like used to like a black man, because a lot of times some like kids can like get scared to like a large black dude.
Who is this tall black dude?
Yeah, parents, y'all expose your kids to people who don't look like you.
Other races.
But I'd be frustrated because I'm like, man, I'm more than qualified.
Yeah,
I had the experience. I was good with kids.
Yep.
But I felt like I was discriminated against because I was a male to be a babysitter. Like I wasn't even taken into consideration.
Yes.
For those jobs that were high paying.
Yeah.
To like watch people's kids.
From an economical perspective, that'll be our first floor for discussion. That's a good argument.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. Because equity. If there's someone who I get it's a high level, you know, because it's your kids, you know. Yeah. But if there's someone who could do a job, it should matter on their qualifications.
Qualifications, you know? Not gender.
Not gender or not race.
Not gender, not race. Yep.
If you can code, no matter who you are, we want you on the team.
Show us your skills and then get the job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, and so like I felt like economically, I would like their males aren't given the same opportunities. Like you know, like if say sometimes females are in between jobs, what they'll do is nanny.
That's true. That's true. I know some full-time nannies that's their full-time gig. It's a good.
It's lucrative, man.
Oh man, it's a good move.
And so, but like, why are there not? You know, as many, not to negate that there are probably a handful, but I'm saying the majority. Like the norm is that
even
men.
in the word nanny, like you think of a woman.
Yeah.
Like nanny, I guess if I were to say that in Spanish, it would be like a I don't know Spanish that well. But I imagine
great preface.
I would imagine that it would be like a feminine word versus a masculine version of that word. Nanny.
Yeah, dog. And so I mean,
you would have to call a man a manny.
Have you seen This Is Us? The show This Is Us?
Of course I've seen This Is Us. That's exactly why I was thinking of the manny. Yeah.
No, but straight up, like you even have the people calling the male nanny a manny instead of just like the original like nanny. And so I think even that, like, man, you know, why is that? Like, why do people? Let's break that down. Like, why do people? Because I think the root of it is we unconsciously tend to trust women. With our kids more than we do men.
So the funny thing I hear sometimes is that, moving kind of into a second floor here, is that whenever a mom is at home sometimes watching kids, she's just taking care of her kids. But then every once in a while, more than every once in a while, pretty often I hear when a dad is home watching the kids, they say, "Oh he's babysitting the kids tonight."
Yeah,
I'm like, babysitting the kids.
Them is his kids. No,
he ain't babysitting nobody. He's taking care of them.
He's doing his job.
If he don't watch him, who gonna watch him?
Exactly.
Mama got to get out of the house sometimes. No,
I feel you. That's actually funny that's the case.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think of that too, bro. Like, I mean, you guys might be able to like attest to this. I would feel like. And if you have, you know, shed light on that in the comment section, but have you ever had a male babysitter? You know what I'm saying? Like, or like even the parents out there, like why do you necessarily tend to gravitate towards women babysitters?
Sure.
You know, like women babysitters, because, you know, just as much as a mom can take care of her kids, so should the father. So it's like a unisex thing.
Right.
But why do we gravitate towards, you know, just like the women as a whole, you know, as towards babysitting versus men? Because realistically, it's like you need someone who you trust.
Yeah,
you know,
trust. Yeah, for sure.
The trust, and I guess it warrants the question: like, are women more trustworthy than men? Is that factual, or do we like maybe like believe that to be?
Are women more trustworthy than men? intrinsically or as it pertains to watching kids?
I mean, I feel like if you are allowing someone to watch your kids, you trust them in more areas than one, because like they're doing a lot of things. A lot of times, sometimes it's like, you know, they might be in your house, or you know they have to communicate with you. So I feel it's maybe it's like a deep trust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because like, you know, I'm in my head, I'm trying to deconstruct where some of the societal norms in watching kids have stemmed from. And so I'm just gonna go way back to ancient times, what we would consider ancient times. Women would watch the children primarily, I think, just so that the kids could stay alive.
Straight up.
They would eat off the mom. You know what I'm saying? And then there'd be that time, especially after a woman gives birth. I mean, they might have been having kids succinctly. Is that a word, succinctly? Yeah, that's a word. Y'all fact check me if that's not a word. But they would be having kids after kids, and so it just became where the woman would stay at home, the man would go out and gather and hunt and prepare food, take care of the house, security, all that kind of stuff. And so I think that the natural way how our bodies work has given way to the societal norm of women being more trusted to watch, nurture, care for kids, and then the societal norm of men going out. Now, I'm going to preface that statement, or not preface, postface. I'm making up words. That statement by saying that doesn't mean that like women aren't suitable for work. That doesn't mean that men can't stay home and watch kids. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that historically that's what it has looked like. That's what has given way to our current context of how what we view as normal.
Straight up. And I think even but a lot of times when we do see babysitters, babysitters are a lot of times, you know, I would say the average is someone maybe like a high school girl, you know, and like these high school girls,
early college,
high school girls don't have kids.
No,
they don't have kids. So their experience doesn't come from like this place of like we're not asking people to babysit our kids who have like motherly experience. It's just like, someone who's trustworthy to watch our kids.
That's
what I'm saying. Like the qualification isn't like a gender specific one. You know what I'm saying? To like babysit or to watch, you know?
Yeah. And then I think also from the historical text or historical context, an interesting thing that I think we have to think about is that a lot of times, this might be heavy for some, but in slavery and even post-slavery times, you had they would call them mammies, or I mean, that's kind of where the caricature of Aunt Jemima. They would be watching massive kids, you know, and so it was natural to have a mammy watching massive kids, and like the actual mom not actually really doing it. The mammies, they would nurse the kids.
They would breastfeed the kids.
All that kind of stuff. And I say even in that, like I think culture has learned like, hey, women take care of the kids, like the dudes are out working in the field type thing.
So I see so historically there's never been the context to where it's been socially a norm for like the man to be watching kids. Essentially. In all facets of it, like whether it's like staying at home with them, nannying them, it's never been a thing. So that's where you get this coming from.
And that's even strange because, like, I mean, it would make sense for another woman to be watching the kids if they were like breastfeeding someone else's kids.
But all they actually are doing is asking them to, and like not to like downplay the role of a babysitter or a nanny. Very important roles because these are your kids. You know, you're like your pride and joy.
Right.
But you're looking for someone who you trust to basically make sure your kids are like taken care of, like kept alive, you know,
kept alive,
you know, like are safe when you're not there, you know, stepping in for you when you're not there because you have to another thing to do, you know. And so that's why I'm like, when I think of the role as itself, there's nothing gender restricting that should make it to where we're looking for, you know, just female babysitters. I also ask the question a lot of times, and you guys can think about this. A lot of times when it comes to like male babysitters, I know it's like at the end of the day, parents are going to do what they feel is safe for their kids. So if you have two daughters, you know, a lot of times they wouldn't be comfortable with having a male babysitter.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. Fine. But if you had 2 sons, they would be fine with having a female babysitter.
That's
think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think like very understanding the realities of the dangers of just like, you know, a lot of times even with like sexual abuse happening within those areas, you know, it's still susceptible for like young, like for boys as well. You know what I'm saying? And so I think if we're going to at least do, like if parents are going to be in the place of like, hey, I don't want, you know, a boy watching my daughters, fine. I understand that. But you should also, in that same place,
be careful
about your sons too.
Yeah.
You know?
That's interesting because now that kind of moves us into another area, kind of a more serious area, is the reality of children being abused sexually, which is heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
And based on the stats, because we kind of chopped this up with some other dudes last night to make sure we're having a proper and healthy dialogue about this.
Yeah, I want to preface. I just want to say something real quick. This definitely, like, we want to. Our heart is to make sure that we like bring this to the light, not to condemn anyone. Yeah, like make them feel safe, at least process through these things, or even think about these things. If you are like experienced or have experience with these things. So
we don't want to speak ignorantly about anything. We don't know it all. But based on the statistics that were presented to us from a friend who's a doctor and kind of works with in different areas of medicine, but also with trauma and kids, he presented some stats of like, hey, like 1 in 4 girls and like 1 in 6 boys have been sexually abused as a kid. And then the majority of those have been, I think he said 95% or 96% were male abusers. And that's just a crazy stat to like, oh, I wonder if that feeds into our cultural societal norm that like, hey, we don't want no men watching our kids. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's crazy to think. Dang, that is kind of it's kind of like, it's crazy to think because it's like, you know, as like dudes, it's like a lot of times you're given like trust, power in some of those places, and so it's like, but that number is like kind of like alarming.
Yeah, that's a staggering number.
It is, but yeah, not to negate that number. It's a crazy number. It also happens with like, I hear like it's a very common for it to like with close family. Yeah, like it's way more common to be like sexually abused by someone who you know. Versus like someone you don't. Yeah. And so I even think the mindset around it as a whole is just like, at the end of the day, parents are going to put in their house someone who they trust with their children. Yeah. I just think you shouldn't compartmentalize like a certain group of people. Yeah. You know what I mean? But more or less look at the person as a whole. So I'll say like, you know, if I do life with very closely with, and this is just myself, with like someone like you, Chris. I know the ins and outs of Chris's life. Like, you know, like I know his wife. I know all these different things. I trust Chris with like, if I trust him with like, yo, could you go into my house and do this? Or I trust him with maybe like certain like, I like trust him as a whole. So in that same place, things that I value, I'll trust you with it, you know? And so I'd be like, man, if I trust him as a whole, like I trust him to watch my kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I, you know, that's how I think, you know, in the mindset of things like that. That's just kind of like my mindset behind it. You know?
I mean, that makes complete sense. Like there are people in our lives who we watch their kids. We don't have any kids, but like if we had kids, like they would, it would be like a no-brainer because like they're just that close. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And there's family that I wouldn't trust to watch my kids. Like honestly, like as much as you love family, like there's family who you don't trust to like watch your kids. Sure. Yeah. You know, and it's nothing against them. Yeah. You know, we were talking about this last night. Basically, like there are homies who you might be like super cool with.
Oh yeah, you might be even cool with them, but
But you're like,
you ain't gonna trust them with
your
kids.
You don't trust them with your kids, or you don't trust them like with your kids at their house. You don't like the way they like that they like raise their kids essentially, like allow their things to. But it's like it's not a knock to your friendship. It's just like, I just don't trust that. Yeah, you know.
Or you don't want to put your kid in that environment.
Yeah, and maybe you could challenge your friend in that, you know? But, hey, man, you should think about doing this. Or at the end of the day, you're going to do what you think is best for your kids. But, yeah, dog, I think that's, like I was saying, though, like, family even being, like, an area of, like, maybe sometimes we can be too trusting of family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's almost like, sometimes we'll give folks who are close to us an automatic pass where we might need to have a protective filter and screen everyone the same. Yeah.
Like, and that's a big thing is I truly believe parents are always trying to have their kids' best interest in mind. So I think even just with this conversation, it's really trying to dig to the root of, like, maybe I've always had my kids' best interest in mind, but why did I think that? You know, why did I only maybe in vetting out a nanny, you know, think this? You know, because also another thing being like, man, there are a lot of, you know, really, I think it's healthy for your kids as well to see other, like, impactful figures, like, besides their mom and their dad.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
like other
yeah.
present males and females
that's huge.
in their lives besides their mom and their dad. Also, like, caring for kids, you know what I'm saying? As, like, men, you know, like, a lot of guys fall into a place where their first time taking care of a baby is when they have one,
which is crazy.
I feel like that's
crazy.
You know, that's sad. There should be a safe place, you know, for them to be like, I
was fortunate to grow up with a lot of younger cousins. I mean, my little brother, he's only 9 years old, so I was grown when he was born. Yeah. And I got to learn how to take care of baby. Yeah. Like, straight up, like, I would watch him all the time. You know, changing diapers, feeding times, like, tummy time, play schedules, all that kind of stuff. You know, so I feel pretty confident in my ability to care for, like, little kids.
Exactly. So I would say you have experience. Now me, it wasn't until, like, the last 2 years that I, like, realized, like, I had no, like, I don't have young nieces, young nephews. Where I had extended time to, like, understand. Like, I realized babies have nap times.
Nap time. They need nap times. They'll shut down.
No, like, parents will schedule their kids around, like, or schedule, like, things around their baby's nap time. So I'm like, it has to be consistent. And that like blew my mind. I never knew that.
Schedule.
And so I think it's not only, you know, I think it's healthy for males, especially who want to be fathers, prior to them having a child,
having some kind of exposure.
Some exposure. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like babysitting, like a kid who's like in second grade or something like that, like working there, you know, like getting that experience, maybe like a kindergartner then, you know what I'm saying? Like working their way, and at the end of the day, them being someone you trust as a whole, like that's the underlying thing. But like, you know, maybe it's him and his sister who watch, you know?
And I think that brings up a good thing, because I think this can lead into, like, practically how could that look? And I think that it would be, to your point, fruitful and beneficial for if someone is aspiring to be a father and not a father yet. Hey, go get around some dads. Like, ask them questions. How do you do this? How do you watch kids? You know, can I watch you watch your kids? You know, it's pretty much, hey, disciple me in fatherhood. Now before I become a father.
That's good.
Which actually, shout out to Belief Mel.
Man.
To Glenn Henry.
Come on. Hey. I think that's a really dope. So you guys should check out Belief in Fatherhood. It's a dope not only a YouTube video. He's got a YouTube channel. And he basically, Belief starts this whole channel as like a stay-at-home dad.
He starts he stays at home, does some production and stuff like that. His wife was working full-time as a teacher. And so he was stay-at-home dad. Yeah.
And it, in a weird way, like, discipled a lot of guys from, like, the internet, understanding not only as a black father, but as like a father, like, he is adequate and able to take care of his kids. And, like, still be a man, masculine, while in that place. That's another topic for a whole nother day. But I think shout out to Belief Mel, man. That's like a super inspiring thing to see. You know, just a father who is, like, very involved in his kids and the raising, and even, like, things that we might deem as, like, maybe, like, that's the woman's job. But he's like, you know, I'm here to be a great father and support my family.
So, man, that's a heavy topic.
It is, man.
And I would say to the Prophetic Foolishness fam, if you have experienced some of these things that we've talked about in this podcast, I just encourage you, when you're ready, to just talk about that with someone, somebody else, just talk about it. And if you know someone who comes to you and wants to talk about something like this, give them a safe space. To just kind of vent and lament. Yeah,
honestly, because there's going to be people who have great experiences with this topic, like great male babysitters. There are people who haven't had any. There are going to be some people who just don't even know how to feel. And people who have
people
pain.
who might have been hurt by even just older kids that were present in their life or anything like that. So we don't talk about this from just a flippant state. We know the reality of what goes on in life. So,
but just as a whole, our podcast, like we really want to make sure that we're just challenging the norm, like maybe giving a different perspective, And if you change it, if you don't, man, we just really want you to at least like think about why we do what we do. So
man. So Osagi, tell me what's prophetic and foolish going on in your life,
man. Something foolish. That's been going on in my life, man. I'm really, really bad about, sometimes I won't like buy something for a very long time. And then when the opportunity comes, like I kind of like splurge. And so I was like, oh man, like, I needed a new blade for my clippers.
Oh yeah.
And bro, it's like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh, they came out with this new thing? Oh, they came out with this new thing? And like before I knew it, bro, that cart was full and I bought a bunch of new gear.
Oh yeah.
So it's foolish. And I probably shouldn't have bought it all. But bro, these cuts is finna be on another level.
Hey, sign me up.
These fades.
About a week and a half.
For sure,
Put me
bro.
on the schedule.
And then something that's prophetic was recently I got to it's weird that a lot of the life that I do with people closely and just like a lot of encouraging things happen in the barber chair for me. Getting like talk to dudes, hear their lives. I had a conversation with a dude recently and just hearing the reality of just like how hard marriage can be. As someone who's about to step into marriage, but like how like hard you fight for it.
Sure.
Understanding that he's like, man, divorce is not an option for us, but this is like the reality, like what we're walking in. And so it's cool that he was just to be real, because sometimes you don't hear the rawness of marriage. So I felt like really encouraged, at least in that place. What about you, Chief?
So today actually, throwing a surprise birthday party for one of the homies.
Oh, yeah. I know it is.
And the funny thing is, I can talk about that on here because I know he ain't going here. But in that, I'm an aspiring mixologist.
Come on.
Hey, man, if I wasn't working in corporate America, I'd be a bartender.
Go ahead.
Hey, bartender / cookie maker. But I found this dope recipe for some pina coladas. So I got the stuff chilling in the freezer. Hey, it's going to go crazy. I'm talking about these are going to be, they're going to be crazy. They're going to be great. I watch so many cooking shows and stuff like that. I'm inspired and I just need to produce. So hopefully.
If anyone who wants to sponsor us, if you're a pina colada company and you want to sponsor, if you want a sponsored ad on here, let us know.
Let us know. We'll plug you a spot.
We'll pub it, bro.
Brought to you by, insert your name here.
Straight up.
And then prophetic going on in my life. Right now, I have a friend who's about to go on sabbatical. And I just think that is such a good, fruitful practice.
For those who don't know what a sabbatical is, can you explain that for them?
What a sabbatical is typically taken by people who are in ministry, whether they're like a lead pastor, associate pastor, something like that. But also, you don't have to be in ministry. Some people take sabbaticals after just working for a while. And it's just a period to step away from the normal working life, and refresh, recharge, renew purpose, pray, think, meditate. In the biblical context, like a time to just seek the face of the Lord. To pray, to kind of be renewed in that type of way. And so I think that's such a beautiful practice to run hard, to work hard for a period of time. And then take a time of rest.
That's good.
So,
that's dope, man.
It's inspiring.
Shout out to the homie who's about to take a sabbatical, bro.
Yeah, shout out.
I feel like sometimes I feel like I need a sabbatical, but I'm like, I ain't really been doing that much. You know what I mean? Like I ain't working like that. People really think so. But that's good, man. So, well, listen, guys, we enjoyed you guys again. My handle is @ObedientOsagi.
And mine is @ChrisHenry on all social media platforms.
All social media platforms. So we make sure please to follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Sorry. Follow us on Spotify. Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Give us great ratings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ask your questions in the comments. Somebody ask the questions in the comments. We need you. But yeah, ask your questions in the podcast. Like we want to hear it. We want to like dive down. We want to be challenged. We want to think on them. Yeah. We want to share it with everyone else.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're about, man. I had fun with you today, dog.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
man. So like we start, like we end. My name is Osagi.
And my name is Chris.
And this is Prophetic Foolishness. Peace.